All right, let's get right into it. We're asking a question that could totally change how you study. Can these super powerful AI tools actually land you that A+? I think the answer is going to surprise you. I mean, for students everywhere, right? Tools like ChatGPT, they feel like a superpower. You can get instant answers, it'll draft your essays, explain stuff that's super complex. On the surface, it really does look like the ultimate shortcut to an A+. And that's the big promise, isn't it? This idea of an AI partner, like a personal tutor in your pocket, helping you get work done better and faster. But here's the real question. Does leaning on that partner for your assignments actually make you any smarter when it's time for the final exam? Well, to find out, we're going to dig into this really fascinating new study. It's from researchers over at the University of Bremen in Germany, and they decided to put this exact question to the test in a real classroom setting. So here's what they did. It was pretty straightforward, actually. They took 193 student essays from an intro accounting course, and then they ran them all through an AI detection tool, to see who was probably getting a lot of help from AI. Okay, then came the really crucial part. They took that list of students flagged as AI users and compared their final exam scores with everyone else's, the students who wrote their essays the old-fashioned way. The question was super simple. Did that AI study partner actually help? And the results were, well, they were staggering. On average, the students who used Gen AI on their essays, they scored 15% lower on the final exam. Just let that sink in for a second. The very tool that was supposed to help them made them do way worse. So that brings us to the big mystery here, right? Why? Why would a tool that's literally designed to help you, to give you answers, actually end up hurting your performance? Well, the answer really gets to the core of how our brains learn. Okay, so why did this shortcut totally backfire? It really all boils down to this huge difference between passive learning and active learning. It's the difference between just getting information handed to you and actually having to wrestle with it. Just think about the difference for a second. When you use AI to do the heavy lifting, your brain is basically in idle mode. You're just prompting, copying, maybe tweaking a few words. But real learning, that's an active sport. It happens in the struggle, The effort it takes to summarize something in your own words, or the mental workout of pulling a fact from your memory. And the researchers themselves, they put it perfectly. They said that by using Gen AI, students are basically bypassing the essential cognitive workout, the comprehension, the analysis, the summarization that actually builds knowledge. So yeah, you get the assignment done, but the info never really sticks. You've just outsourced the thinking. And this might be the wildest part of the whole study. This negative effect, it wasn't just for students who are already having a hard time. No, it was actually strongest for the students with good grades and high attendance. The ones who are already motivated and engaged. By taking that shortcut, they were pretty much robbing themselves of the deep learning they were totally capable of. Okay, so if the latest shiny tech isn't the real key to success, then what is? To figure that out, we've got to look past the technology and get back to the basics of what actually makes a student successful. So another study, this one on student well-being, found something really interesting. It turns out academic success isn't really about finding the best shortcut or the cleverest hack. Nope. It comes down to something much more fundamental, just building a solid foundation. And a huge piece of that foundation is, you guessed it, time management. There is this really striking link between how well students feel they manage their time and how stressed out they are. Basically, if you can master your schedule, you can manage your stress, and that's what gives you the mental space you need to actually learn. But what about the number one most important thing for their well-being? So in the survey, they had to pick between things like exercise, seeing friends, and sleep. And the top answer? It's probably not what you'd guess. It wasn't socializing. It wasn't hitting the gym. It was sleep. Yup, 45% of the students picked sleep as the single most important factor for their well-being. That's more than anything else. It's a huge reminder that you don't build academic success on all-nighters. You build it on a well-rested brain. Okay, so let's put all the pieces together. What does a real blueprint for studying smarter look like in the age of AI? Look, it's not about throwing away the technology. It's about using it wisely and really focusing on those fundamentals. So here it is, a simple 4-step plan.
First, use AI for ideas, not answers. Make it an active partner. Ask it to challenge your ideas or quiz you on a topic. Use it to spark your thinking, not do it for you. Second, you gotta prioritize active recall. Constantly be testing yourself. 3, get a handle on your schedule to cut down on stress. And number 4, and this is a big one, protect your sleep. It's not a luxury, it's the foundation of everything.
Because here's the bottom line, the most crucial point of all. The goal is not just to get an assignment done and check a box. The real goal, the one that actually matters, is to, actually learn the stuff. And that leaves us with one last big thought to chew on. In a world where AI is getting better and better at just handing us easy answers, maybe our most valuable human skill, our real secret weapon, is just the willingness to do the hard work, to embrace the struggle and actually learn things the hard way.